Yo, what's up, guys? Great back-to-back wins for the Leafs yesterday and today, guys. Beating the Habs last night, 1-0 in overtime, and then beating Carolina Hurricanes today, 4-1. Now, guys, what can I say? First, let's talk about a little bit about the Montreal game first. And man, was that a good game last night? It was tight defensively. A lot of great chances last night as well between the Leafs and Habs. The fact that Montreal only had 8 shots through like halfway through the third period. My God, I was getting so bloody nervous that the Maple Leafs were going to give up a goal, lose this game 1-0 to Montreal. Kind of like a repeat of what happened of the first game of the season where the Leafs lost 1-0 to the Habs. The Leafs were dominating the Habs, outshooting Montreal like no tomorrow. And, Montreal found a way to win that game 1-0 in the first game of the year. And it felt similar last night as well. But the Maple Leafs found a way to get it done. Marner with the overtime winner, of course, but there were some guys' games that I really liked, and I thought Riley played well last night. I loved what I saw from Nick Robertson yesterday. He was laying out guys left and right, laying out the body. I loved Max Domi sticking up for his teammates, fighting Caden Gooley. That guy was taking liberties on McMahon and Tavares, and Domi said, enough's enough now, dropping the gloves with him. Great fight by Max, winning the fight as well, of course. But that game there, guys, the Maple Leafs obviously got us frustrated at times in this game, but they found a way to get the 2 points. The Habs are a pesky team right now, trying to get that last wildcard spot. They had won like 6 in a row coming into this game last night. So the Maple Leafs had a tough task ahead of them, and they did a really good job containing Montreal. They were really good defensively at times. I thought the D-core was great last night, only playing with 5 bloody defensemen, of course, last night. Playing with one man short as well. So obviously, that's why Montreal had an opportunity to probably win this game, because at least for a defenseman down. But, Stolarz coming a massive multiple times last night, especially in overtime, making that massive save on Suzuki. And then Suzuki tried holding Tavares' stick, and that wasn't even called a penalty, for Christ's sakes. Absolutely mind-blowing. But luckily enough, Marner went on to score the goal, obviously. But Stolarz, guys, he has been playing great as of late. 7-0 his last 7 starts. This guy's got like a 1.56 goals against average, a 941 save percentage. You know what I mean, guys? So he has been absolutely incredible, Anthony Stolarz, these last 7 games, really turning it up a notch. And for me, guys, like I said a couple videos ago, I think he's going to be the #1 starter. And, Joe Wall, he played well in Florida. He also played well again tonight in Carolina, especially in that first period. But for me, guys, Stolarz has really turned it up a notch, like I said, in these last 7 games that he started in. And for me, I would be surprised if he was not the game 1 starter going into the playoffs, guys. But Stoli played great in that game. The whole team played great against Montreal. Obviously there were some frustrations, like I mentioned, not scoring on the power play as well there, and it felt like we were going to get goaled again. This kid that Montreal even had, I think his name's Dobé or something like that. He was great last night, made some massive saves against the Leafs, gave Montreal a chance to win that game, but the Leafs found a way to get the 2 points. Deserved win, of course. Obviously with the Atlantic Division almost being clinched, big 2 points for the Maple Leafs. Then obviously the game tonight against Carolina, guys, you get another massive 2 points. On top of that, winning 4-1, you saw Matthews get a goal with a beautiful play with him and Riley. You saw Pontus Holmberg score a great goal as well, getting in front of the net. William Nylander with a beautiful tip by Max Domi, guys. John Tavares gets a goal as well. The Leafs played great as well tonight, guys, like they did against Montreal last night. Joe Wall made some big saves in the first period, because Carolina was out shooting the Maple Leafs in that first period. But then in the second period, the Maple Leafs did a really good job defensively. Carolina only had like 2 shots on net in that second period, I'm pretty sure. Didn't have many shots in the third either as well, guys. They turned it up in the third as well, but the second period didn't have as much shots. I thought the Leafs played really well defensively. Joe Wall made some big saves. A good penalty kill as well. The Maple Leafs are going to have to make sure that penalty kill is really playing well, especially if they're playing Ottawa, who gets a lot of power play opportunities. So the Leafs played well defensively. Another solid 2 points tonight against Carolina. You find a way to get another win on the road on the second half of a back-to-back. Obviously the back-to-backs have not been friendly to the Leafs. They had them playing against Florida and Tampa Bay midweek. Now you had Montreal and Carolina tonight. The schedule hasn't been very kind to the Maple Leafs this year, guys, but they found a way to get the 2 points. Riley, another solid performance tonight, guys. They had 3 assists tonight. He played well. Domi played well. Also, again, like he did last night, I think he had 2 assists tonight. So the Maple Leafs, guys, they're rolling in the right direction right now, winning 7 of their last 8 games. You know, playoffs are around the corner. You know, the Leafs only need 1 more point now, guys. I'm pretty sure on Tuesday they play the Sabres. You get 1 point against Buffalo. The division is pretty much clinched because you got Tampa and Florida playing each other on Tuesday night. So somebody's losing. Hopefully Tampa loses that game on Tuesday night against Florida. We'll wrap up the division for the Maple Leafs. Will be great to see, guys, the Leafs win the Atlantic for the first time in this Core 4 era. You know, Marner's a point away from 100 points, first time in his career. Of course, Tavares is getting close to 40 goals. You had Willie Nylander scoring 45 goals. You know, Willie's having a great year, career year, goals-wise. You know, obviously, Austin Matthews hasn't been scoring at the clip that he usually scores at, but Austin has been playing some great 200-foot hockey, guys. He's been playing really solid. You know, he scored a goal tonight, like I mentioned. So, guys, the Leafs are trending in the right direction. They're playing some great hockey as of late. You know, Stolarz has been playing great. Wall, you know, the decor's looking solid right now. So, I have to say, going into the playoffs now, I'm obviously a lot more confident than I was last year. I like the way the decor's playing. You know, I like the way how the top 6 is playing. Now, obviously, the bottom 6 contributed tonight as well with Holmberg scoring a goal. You want to see all your lines contributing. You want to see everybody healthy, ready to go for the playoffs. Obviously, we didn't have OEL and Jake McCabe these last few games. Jake McCabe's obviously been out for the last 5 games. We saw Dakota Mermis playing tonight for OEL. So he played well tonight, I felt. You know, get these guys rested, ready for the playoffs. Beat Buffalo, then rest some guys for the last game of the season against Detroit on Thursday night, guys. And then it's ready to roll, guys. It is time to get ready for playoffs once again, guys. I cannot believe how close we are to the Stanley Cup playoffs once again, guys. And we all know how much is on the line this year, guys, regarding the playoffs. And we know Carolina tonight, they didn't have much to play for. Carolina's positioning is already sealed. They're playing the Devils in the first round. We all know that the Maple Leafs have more to play for. That's why they got the 2 points, and we're the better team tonight. So, guys, we're almost there. Very close to the playoffs. Great back-to-back wins for the Leafs tonight, guys. 104 points. Craig Berube, first year as Leafs head coach, getting 50 wins. That is an incredible first year for Craig Berube as Leafs head coach. He's done an incredible job. Obviously, some bumps in the road, guys, but nothing to complain about. Leafs had some very good performances these last 2 games, guys. Hopefully, the Leafs can win the last 2 games of the year. Go into the playoffs feeling great about themselves. Hopefully, everybody's healthy and ready to go, guys. And we'll see what happens, guys. But, guys, that's it for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Leafs, go, guys. And remember, if you do not watch sports, you're more. Ciao, guys.